Getting into the GovTech industry can actually be done quickly. I've helped hundreds of people break into the GovTech industry, so I've seen it all. You don't need years to prepare for it. You don't need to be a tech genius, and you don't need to waste any time overthinking on how you can land that GovTech role that you've been dreaming of. Because I've already done the thinking for you, which is why I put together this video, so I can show you the steps and the strategies that my students have used to land those GovTech roles that you want to get. And so you can get the job faster by avoiding typical mistakes and skipping that annoying GovTech learning curve. With the right guidance, anyone can get through. You just need the right blueprint that shows you which steps to take so you can break into the GovTech industry. Here's what you should be doing to get through the GovTech hiring process fast. First, you should be doing research on the different government contractor companies and the different government agencies. When you do this research, you'll start to realize that a lot of these companies are asking for the exact same skills. By doing this research, it's going to allow you to come into the interview more knowledgeable on the type of projects that they're working on the type of skills and qualifications that they're looking for. So that will let the recruiter know that one, they won't need to train you as much, and two, you've already done a lot of the legwork for them, so you have a good idea of what they're doing at that company once you end up getting the role. Doing this will allow you to get through that pre-recruiter phase much quickly, so you'll avoid having more rejections and actually get into that GovTech interview. When it comes to GovTech, no matter what the role is, as long as you understand the foundational knowledge and have foundational skills, a lot of the GovTech companies will do on-the-job training, which is also known as OJT. In your day-to-day work in any of these tech roles, whether you are a software engineer, cybersecurity engineer, system administrator, network engineer, cloud engineer, any of those type of tech roles, the day-to-day is pretty much the same. You'll come into the office, you'll see what your tasks are for the day, and you'll start working through those tasks for the day. And as you're doing your work, you may get a few tickets depending on the type of role that you're doing. There may be some security alerts, or there may be some last-minute tasks that you need to get completed. So whether you are a software engineer or you're a data engineer, pretty much your day-to-day is going to be the same. But of course, software engineers will spend majority of their time coding throughout the day, and that's what I was doing while I was a software engineer. I was actually an embedded software engineer, so I spent 8 to 10 hours a day coding, because in GovTech we have flexible schedules, so you can work 4 days, 10 hours a day, and that will allow you to work your whole week. So that's why I would spend 8 to 10 hours a day coding as a software engineer. But in those other tech roles, you won't be spending most of the day coding. You'll be doing various tasks that are related to your specific tech job. The best thing that you can do to get into GovTech quickly is to get the Security Plus. The Security Plus certification is a baseline DoD 8570 certification, which is really the information assurance, which is also known as cybersecurity now, Bible for GovTech. So you need to be DoD IAT level 2 certified to get administrator or root access to these different government systems. So by you having the Security Plus, that's going to make you qualified to get these different GovTech roles. I say that is the base qualification that you need if you want to start working in GovTech. You might as well just knock it out now, and it's going to expedite your hiring process. Degrees are definitely a bonus, but they aren't needed in the different IT roles in GovTech. But if you do want to be a software engineer in GovTech, you will need a computer science degree or a software engineering degree. So for the other fields like cybersecurity, system administration, network engineering, cloud engineering, you got lucky because you don't need a degree whatsoever. But the great thing about the GovTech industry is that once you're into this industry, the different government contractor companies and the federal government will pay for your degrees and more certifications. So that means more money gets to stay in your pocket, and then your company or government agency pays for you to get more education, which then will allow you to make more money. If you're just trying to get your foot in the door in GovTech, you don't need any technical experience whatsoever. So if you want an entry-level IT role, no experience is needed. All you need to do is get the Security Plus, start learning your technical skills, and apply to these different GovTech roles. For more mid-level and senior level roles, of course you will need years of experience, but when it comes to entry level and just getting your foot in the door, no experience is needed whatsoever. Now, these roles that don't require experience are out there, you just need to know how to look for them. So if you know how to look for these roles, you'll be able to find these different GovTech jobs and break into the industry. The first thing you want to look for when you're looking for GovTech jobs is looking for the phrase must have ability to obtain U.S. government security clearance. That's the first thing you want to look for if you need a government clearance and you want to get sponsored sponsor for one. In GovTech, don't just focus on quality and don't just focus on quantity. You want to focus on both. This is not one of the regular tech industries where you can just go onto LinkedIn and easy apply to hundreds of different roles at a time. You really need to make sure that your resume is going to be tailored for the specific type of tech role that you're looking to apply for, and you want to make sure that you're only applying for those roles with a specific resume. So if you do this and you apply for jobs either on clearancejobs.com or you go directly to the government contractor websites, this will allow you to have more success. I always recommend to people to apply to at least 10 jobs a day that actually fit your criteria, and this will allow you to get into GovTech much faster than just going on to LinkedIn or going on to Clearance Jobs and just applying for anything that has tech in the title. If you want to work for a federal government agency and you want to get hired fast, listen up. You can completely skip that slow government hiring process that you've heard about if you look for this one key phrase, and the phrase is direct hire. When you're looking for these direct hire roles, this means that you're able to completely skip that slow process and you get hired as if you are applying for any other kind of tech job. So to find these direct hire roles for the federal government, first you want to go to usajobs.gov, then you want to type in the number 2210, so 2210, and that is the IT job series for the federal government. And when it comes to the IT job series, also known as 2210, they don't require you to have a degree whatsoever. So if you want to get hired fast, you just combine those two keywords together. So you want to search 2210 direct hire, and that will allow you to get a job in the GovTech industry for the federal government very quickly. If you want to apply for jobs for government contractor companies, I highly suggest that you look on clearancejobs.com, or you can look on the government contractor websites directly. So there's hundreds of different government contractors, and you literally can go onto Google and Google top 100 government contractor companies. And once you Google this, the full list of government contractors will come up and you'll see exactly which ones you can go apply to. So when I'm looking to apply for jobs with the federal government, what I personally like to look for are jobs that aren't open that long. So the federal government will keep jobs open for 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes even shorter, or they'll say, hey, we're only taking 500 applicants for this role. These are the type of roles that I like to look for because it's low competition. Who are you competing with if nobody saw the job posting? So that's my strategy for federal government jobs. And some people say that it doesn't work, but trust me, I did an interview with the chief of cybersecurity at CISA, and even she posts job postings that are only open for 2 to 3 weeks, and she does not have somebody in mind. She's actually looking for a candidate. So this method actually works. That's how I was able to get my internship with the United States Air Force back when I was in college. When it comes to applying to federal government jobs, you also need a federal government resume. So make sure that you are paying attention to the job posting and see exactly what they're asking for on your resume. In general, what they will ask for is for you to list the hours that you worked for each job that's listed on your resume. Also list the phone number for HR so they can contact somebody to verify that you work there. And then also, of course, be as descriptive as possible and make sure that your resume aligns to the job posting that you're applying to. When it comes to applying to federal government jobs, making sure that your resume is tailored is probably the #1 thing that you can do. The next most important thing that you can do when you're applying to federal government jobs is to actually make sure that you have the skill set that you need and the experience that you need to get these federal government jobs. So after you submit your resume, what they will do is have a questionnaire. In this questionnaire, you have to make sure that you're answering truthfully, but you also need to make sure that you are answering expert on 90% of the questions that they have. So if you don't do that, trust me, you will not get referred to a hiring manager to actually get an interview. So if you tailor your resume and you are a good fit for the position by answering expert in the questionnaire, you will get that federal government role. When it comes to the government contractor side, it's way easier to get a job. You don't need to have a super detailed resume like with the federal government, and you also don't need to do any type of questionnaires. So when you're looking for these jobs with the government contractor companies, just make sure your resume will fit that specific tech role title and then go apply for the job. And that's really all you need to do. So the amount of time that it takes to hear back after you've submitted your application, it will vary on whether you're applying for a federal government job or a government contractor job. Most government contractors, they will get back to you very quickly. Within 1 week, 2 weeks max. When it comes to the federal government, there's no telling. Unless you actually do direct hire. If you do direct hire, you'll hear back in 3 to 4 weeks. But if you're applying to a regular job on usajobs.gov, you will hear back in maybe 3 to 4 months at the soonest. So it really just depends. It's really going to be a waiting game if you don't apply to direct hire roles with the federal government. So the fastest way to get into GovTech is government contractor companies, and that's where I spent the majority of my career in the GovTech industry. The hiring process in the GovTech industry is pretty straightforward when you're on the government contractor side. On the government contractor side, you will have an initial screening with the recruiter. This screening is very, very simple. They're pretty much just going to ask you questions about what's on your resume. So if you actually did what you said you did on your resume, it should be very easy for you to get through this screening process. So make sure you prepare for this pre-screening with the recruiter. Also, they may send you an email to ask you pre-screening questions because they don't even want to waste their time. So they may send you 5 to 10 questions to answer, just about questions about your resume. And once you answer those questions, if they want to move forward with an interview, you'll hear back from that government contractor recruiter within a week or two to move forward with the actual interview. Next up in the interview process is going to be either a technical interview or a behavioral interview. And these interviews could possibly be a panel with more than one person, or it could just be you and a manager. So it really just depends on what type of interview process that the government contractor company has, and it depends on how much time they have as well. But when it comes to the actual interview process in the GovTech industry, it is going to vary by what type of role that you're looking for. So let's say you're a software engineer, you may have to do a whiteboarding interview where you do a coding interview, or if you're working a technical role outside of software engineering, they just may ask you some technical questions that you should know because you have the technical skills and the expertise. So make sure you prepare for your technical interviews. You can prepare for these technical interviews by literally just going onto either YouTube and searching up technical interviews for whatever tech role you're looking for, or you can Google that as well, or you can use AI and ask the AI to help you prepare for a technical interview for the role that you are applying to and hoping to land. The best thing about the GovTech interview is usually there's only one round of interviews. So with one round of interviews, it makes it a very straightforward and simple process. The most interviews that I've ever had to do was 3 interviews, and that was for a GovTech cybersecurity startup. That was their process, but when it comes to regular GovTech companies, you will not do 3 interviews. You will do 1 or 2 interviews max. So they're not long and convoluted, and I think that's what makes the process much easier, and it gives you a higher percentage of actually landing that tech job. Because if you don't have to show up to 3, 4, 5, even some companies have 6 interviews, that's just ridiculous, right? So if you keep it straightforward and simple like how it is with GovTech, you can definitely get into this career just by doing 1 or 2 interviews that are very straightforward. The best way for you to prepare for your technical interviews in the GovTech industry is for you to go and look at the job posting, look to see what skills they are asking for, and look to see what technologies that they put on the job posting. So if you brush up on your skills and brush up on those different technologies that are posted on the job posting, this will allow you to do well in your technical interview. I always say to assume that everything that's on the job posting is something that can be asked during the technical interview. So make sure you take your time and study, prepare for at least 2 days before the technical interview comes, so then that way you are well prepared and you show up and ready to crush that tech interview. So now you've crushed your tech interview and you've received your GovTech offer. When you receive an offer from a government contractor company, never accept the first offer. You want to make sure that you negotiate. So you can figure out how much money you should be asking for by looking on Glassdoor. You can also look on LinkedIn, or you can go look at the job posting because typically they put a salary range because it's required by law now. But whatever you do, don't accept the first offer and know what skills and values and qualifications that you bring to the company, and ask for more money. That's the biggest thing. Ask for more money. That's how you get paid those 6-figure salaries. So if you don't ask for 6 figures, you won't make 6 figures. But of course, if it's an entry-level role, most likely you're not going to come in at 6 figures unless it's a software engineering role or a cybersecurity role. Typically, GovTech offers are made up of a few key pieces. So you have your base salary, you have your benefits, you have your 401k, and then also you'll have bonuses. So depending on the company, your bonuses, you can have bonuses once or twice a year, or you can get bonuses out of cycle as well. And also, if you work at a GovTech startup, you can also get stocks as well. So you can get pre-IPO shares, or you can get regular shares too if you work for either Microsoft or Amazon or Google in their GovTech division. So once you have a few years of experience, a six-figure salary is guaranteed in the GovTech industry. On average, people in tech make over $100,000 a year. So you know that six figures is on the horizon for you. If you do everything here, there's no chance that you don't get through that hiring process fast and land that dream GovTech role that you've been wanting. But everyone's situation is different, and there may be some things that prevent you from going through that hiring process. So if you want me to personally help you out, I show people how to land high-paying six-figure GovTech jobs, whether you went to school or whether you didn't go to school and you want to gain those technical skills and qualifications so you can land your first GovTech role. If you're interested, it'll be the first link in the description below. And if you want to see more videos like these, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tech gems. See you in the next video.